I'm 26 and on step 5 of the FU. My HSA is maxed due to medical reasons, and I'm planning on law school. Do I put everything towards law school savings or still contribute a little bit to my Roth IRA? Say $50 to Roth? Any thoughts?
Well, here's what I love here. All right, so we're 26 years old, step 5 of the financial. Brian, will you hold up the thing for me? For those of you that aren't familiar, step 5 is the 5th step in our financial order of operations. You can get your free copy at moneyguy.com/resources. He's already doing that part. He's already doing the HSA because of medical reasons, funding it. Now, it sounds like if he's funding the HSA for medical reasons, he's probably funding it current year and then using those dollars. So while that is a step 5, when we think about step 5, it's more about letting those dollars grow and continue to grow. So I would be curious if you are actually, in fact, in step 5, you may be earlier on. And so if you have other things coming up, like you have law school, like you have some known expense coming up, I like the idea of saving for those near-term expenses in cash. I want to see you be able to do that. Now, what you got to figure out is your ability to save for law school going to allow you to pay for law school in total, or are you still going to have to take out some sort of debt otherwise? I think you have to have a more robust view of what the total picture is. Like, is that $50 I'm saving towards law school going to make a meaningful impact on that, or is it something I could deploy into a Roth IRA? Because I love the thought of even people very early on starting out with some nominal amount of money going into Roth, because we know that when it comes to building wealth, 80% of building wealth are the habits that you create. 80% is actually creating the muscle memory of doing the work necessary to build wealth before you even get to the mathematics. So I kind of like the idea of doing the Roth, of saving a little bit in the Roth. And I think that he's probably in that step, but I need to know more. I need to know more about what school is going to cost, where his current emergency fund is, how much cash he's sitting on, how long he's going to have to save for this goal. I don't know if we have enough information on that one.
Well, I think, but I want to give more because that's what we do here at the Money Guy Show. And I think you got to think about broad stroke, and then we're thinking about just the shading. And I think that the $50 a month is more in the shading and the fun stuff. We've got to figure out the preparation on the broad strokes, and that's really law school. That doesn't sound cheap. So I would
not
look
in
at
my
it,
experience.
I would look at it in the viewpoint or of the financial order of operations, and you figure out, is this something you're cash flowing, or maybe you have some savings from the past, or you have an employer that's paying for it. How is that? Figure out the broad strokes of how you're paying for education, because maybe it is a student loan that you have to get. Well, now if it's a student loan, is that low interest rate? Is that a high interest? Because high interest is going to be a step 3 item. Low interest is going to be a step 9 item. So you've got to kind of balance that part out before we start getting into Roth IRA contributions. But once you go through the broad strokes of what essentially the umbrella of what the financial order of operations is, I'm not going to get mad at you if you just throw $50 a month towards the Roth, because I do the same thing with y'all know. By the way, I did my net worth statement.
Yeah, buddy.
Do you want to know how low my mortgage is now on my house here in Tennessee?
It's not paid off?
I know. It's 2.5% interest. But because, my payment due is this amount and I round it up every month, it's exactly like the $50. I'm doing the shading. It's down to $64,000. I have thought about just paying it off, writing a check, but I don't know. It's 2.5%. There's some arbitrage weirdness that I keep waiting for the Federal Reserve to change interest rates enough to where it will take the decision away from me. But right now, my cash is still making more.
I am curious. He says, this is what he says. Hey, when the interest rates drop, I have a theory that, now don't write this in pencil if you're taking notes. I think that the mortgage will end up being paid off just on its natural timeline before rates drop down to 2.5%. So I think you have this best intention.
We're probably within a year and a half of that just happening naturally.
Yep, that's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. That's my bold prediction on the saga of is Brian ever going to pay off his mortgage. But I want to make
sure. And by the way, this question, I got so distracted by his name.
Okay.
Future.
It was Future Polyglot.
What is that?
I don't know. I didn't want to add. I don't know.
Isn't
what
that just speaking multiple languages? Yeah.
Oh, is that what that means? Okay, look, poly has all kind of meanings these days, and I was like, what in the world is that title? That title threw me, and I couldn't even focus on the question. That's how my brain is like squirrel, and I'm like, I don't even know what that word means. So obviously, future
multiple language speaker,
very very smart because he's speaking SAT words that I don't even know exist. There's a reason I'm really good at math.